What's up? I wasn't sure exactly how I would use this channel afterwards, but this is still a travel chronicles, I guess. It's not going to be part of the regular series though. This is just going to be a video. My own personal journey, I guess. Been doing upward sports for close to 10 years. It's 10 years. I started out as an assistant coach, and then I think it was the next year I was coaching my daughter's team, and then which was second grade, so that wasn't bad. And then the next year I helped coach my son's team, and then the following year I coached his team, and I was coaching her team at the same time. And then about 3 years ago, they asked me if I wanted to help be a director of the league, because this is through the church. It's Upward Sports, and it's a Christ-like center. At the middle of every practice, you're supposed to have a devotion, and they kind of lay out, what they want you to do, because they have virtues that they go by, and then Bible verses that go along to support that particular virtue. So, I try to follow along with those. I did go a little off script some this year. I talked to some of the other coaches. Well, I've listened to them talk. And some of them go off script. They don't use the devotion because they have a better message. I don't know that I have a better message, but I feel like you got to keep growing no matter what you're doing. So in coaching, I don't coach the same way that I coached, 10 years ago. Helping. I've seen stuff that other coaches have done over those years, and I see the way that the league goes. And after every game, you've got to figure out what your deficiency is, and then you've got to drill that deficiency. That's all you can do. And this year's a little bit different because we started so fast. So we split things up because of the pandemic. So we did kindergarten, first and second, and that was 6 weeks of games. And then, it ended up being 6 weeks because I think we took a whole weekend off because of weather or COVID. I can't remember. And then we came back with the third and fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, and that's going to be 7 weeks of games. So in total, it's 13 weeks. It's been a very, very long season, and we're down to the last full Saturday of games coming up this week, and then 1 week. The next week's going to be like a little tournament. But for me, I went from, just an assistant coach for one team to having a team to being asked to be a director, and now and it was like half days, right? Like if you're a director, you would only have to be there half of the day. So, that's not a bad thing. But this year, because of the COVID and stuff, some other directors have, they've dropped us. Some directors have come and gone, or have just wanted to do some stuff in the background, which is fine, because it's very time consuming, very taxing, and it has to be your passion, really. And I am passionate about it from the standpoint of, I want kids to have a good influence. I want them to have a good experience playing basketball, and if you can work some of the Jesus influence, the biblical influence into that, I think it's a great thing. That's often something that gets left out of sports, or some coaches want to skip stuff, and it's like, oh well, this is what it's going to be like in high school, and they're using foul language all over the place, and I'm not a fan of that at all. I'm not even a fan of that in high school. Like, I don't think you need to communicate like that to young kids to get them to do what you need to do. Just be a good coach. You can be intense. Like, I'm intense with 5th and 6th graders. I'm intense with second graders when I have a second grade team. That's not you don't have to not be intense. It's just, you don't have to use foul language and tell them what an idiot they are and everything else. And this weekend I did tell my niece that I think she lost her mind on defense, but I mean, that's different. This team I got this year, they're kind of special. My team last year, the Hawkeyes, love that team. I thought at the end of the year, we were one of the best teams in the league, and we just gotten off to a slow start. And that's why I said this year is even worse, because we had one practice and then you're in a game. One practice got snowed out. And it's normally you get 3 practices and then you're in a game. So we've only had 5 practices and we've played 5 games. And we've gotten a lot better. And I keep trying to drill them on executing and getting to our spots and those types of things. And we finally hit shots this week. Before, we were lucky to score 16 points a game. And this week we scored 33. So, but we gave up a bunch too. I'm not sure what happened there. Because I like our defense. But, the upward system, it's different. It's different, from the basketball standpoint of, the idea of the league is you want everybody to play and get an equal amount of time played. So it's not, hey, we're going to win at all costs. Oh, sorry you didn't get to play this game because we were really trying to win. We want you to feel what it's like to win. No, it's you're gonna play, and the rotations are already kind of pre-made. So if there's any question, you know who's going to be in and out every quarter, every period, the entire season once you set your lineup, and it's done. So that kind of takes it out of the coach's hands. But the other thing that I've been doing is announcing. My throat hurts a little bit, but I'm excited. I liken it to the talents where in the Bible, talking about the guy that gave somebody 5 talents, he went out and got 5 more. He gave somebody 2 talents, he went out and got 2 more. And then they gave somebody 1 and he hit it and then brought it back. It's like, hey, here's that talent. It's like, hey, you didn't use this. So I've been doing the announcing. I like announcing. I do. People have been very encouraging as well. So that's been helpful, I guess. They've been doing it the right way. So this Sunday I announced. And at church, I got to say all the kids' names that were there and kind of, put the announcer thing to it. My throat's very sore from yelling this weekend. Not the names necessarily, just at my team. But we won. That was the first game we won. So we're 1-4. And it's hard because I want to work on fundamentals first. I'm big on get the fundamental stuff, because a lot of kids don't have the good fundamentals of just handling the ball, grabbing the ball, getting your head up, dribbling. You have to have those things. You go rebound the ball with 2 hands. And, we've had some kids, do some good things. And, you don't have to be great at everything in elementary school basketball to be a good basketball player. You can be good at 1 or 2 things, and that contributes to the team. That's what it's all about. Nobody's out there trying to do everything all themselves. And I don't have a team where I can do that either. Sometimes I have, and it's nice. But mostly it's been when I had one of my kids where I could say, hey, go do this, or I need you to do that, and I can trust him to go do it. And I don't have that. But it's good. I enjoy it. It's probably something I'll keep doing. I don't see any reason not to. But this year has been exhausting. When you're looking at it in January, and it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna do half this time, then we're gonna do another half a season. It's a long, like it, and you can do it in 7 weeks and be done. But I can't remember if the other team played 5 games or 6 games, but it was a lot. But it gives the kids a chance to do something during this pandemic, for one. I don't think the way that we handled it was bad necessarily, but people are done with these. Like, people are done with these. It's a cold. The coronavirus was severely overblown in my estimation. I hate to say that, but because I know some people did die, but the average age, I think, of people who died is right about the average age of the normal death. It is where it averaged out. A lot of older people died, and there were some in younger demographics that died as well, but it was a lot of older people, and normally older people die. That's we shouldn't be surprised by that. I think the response was good, but they also because we didn't know what was going to happen, so that was fine. But then we said flatten the curve. Hey, we're going to flatten the curve. The curve got flattened. It's flat now. It's as flat as it's going to get. It ain't going back up. We did our job. The hospitals can handle everything. Let's call the dogs off. Let's go. I had it in January, and it was the most mild cold I've ever had in my life. If it wasn't the fact that I lost my taste and smell, I'd have been at work. It wasn't even a cold. So, but I think got some people there that got vaccines now. Some people have had it. Hey, let's just move on. Let's just be done, wrap it up, and move on. That's where I'm at. Alright, well, I don't know if I have anything else to say about Upwards or not. I give you my tips, my strategy. They give you your lineup. They divide the lineup after they do the evaluation. So theoretically, the top players get divided up, and then the second tier of players all get divided up. That's usually not how it works. And for some reason, we haven't got the concept of dividing up girls and boys evenly. I've got 3 girls on my team. There's the top team. Top team has 1, and I remember 2 years ago in 4th grade, the team that won, the championship in the tournament had 8 kids, and they had 1 girl, and it was like, I'm struggling year in, year out with 3 or 4 girls, and I won't say struggling, but it's like I'm competing with 3 or 4 girls, but when you get right down to it, if another team's got 6 or 7 boys, it's hard for them girls to be that aggressive and take over. Now 5th and 6th, it's a little different because you can have some really good girls that can play, that can make a difference. But you can also have, if you've got a girl who's timid, she's not going to give you a whole lot. So you've got to really, really work with them to get them to play. But my strategy is to divide them up. So if you do have 3 or 4 girls, you've got make sure that they're not on the floor at the same time, unless one of them happens to be your best, and it doesn't really matter. But I found that out, and it's important when you have 7, 8 kids, and 3 girls or so, just to divide them up, split them up. What else? I'll always have a ball handler on the floor. So they'll give you your order of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's fine. But the problem is other teams will have kids that miss, or they won't have the same number of kids, so your rotation won't line up necessarily with what they're doing. And if that happens, what you got to do is maintain a ball handler. You have to have a ball handler on the floor, because if you're on your bottom 5 and they're on their top 5, you're done. Like, you've lost that period, and it could be bad. It could be lopsided bad, because that's what I used to do. Is like, all right, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I had 9 kids. Well, I only had 4 kids that could handle the ball. So when I got to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the court at one time, oh, it was bad. It was bad. And I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I have to have somebody out here who can dribble. So then I went with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 2, 4, 6, 8 would be the rotation from then on. Well, you can't change it in the middle of the season, but I figured that out afterwards, and I could have done that, and that would have worked out a lot better. So, but that's just that way. At least one of your top players is always on the floor. You always have a ball man, somebody to fall back to, somebody can take it and go, and hopefully score. So, all right. Well, that's all I got for today. So, be careful. Be COVID free. Later.